Yeah, hi guys. I thought I'd share with you a tip or two on coolant leaks. Um, I put a little piece of blue tape on here, and I keep my level of coolant up here, um, so I can see if I've got any coolant leaks or not. Yeah, as you can see, the coolant level's down here, so we either have coolant going through the engine, through the intake gasket, or by other means. But one thing that you want to first take a look at is just start looking around on your engine and see if you can see any leaks. In this area here, I put my hand underneath this valve here that opens up the coolant to go into the heater core to heat up the cabin of the car. And underneath there, I got some coolant on my fingers. So, and then I put a socket on these screws here and found them to be a little bit loose. So I tightened them up. Don't over tighten them. They can easily strip, but get them a little bit beyond snug. I hope you can see this in the video, but there's actually some coolant right here on this. What is that? It's a power wire, and this one here was a little bit loose. The thing is when I put these new hoses on the car, I assure you I had them tight. But over a little bit of time, the rubber hose material can become a little bit soft, and you need to. Doesn't hurt every 6 months or at least once a year. Just check things out. Pop the hood and see how your coolant is. You know, if you have a radiator cap or reservoir like mine, check and verify that it's up. Even on new cars, it's not uncommon for it to go down. And top it off with some 50-50 coolant. Make sure you use the type of coolant that was in the car. So if it's a new car and it's a Honda, for example, put some Honda coolant in there. I know for a fact I put this Pentafrost in here, so I already have some 50-50 mix ready to go with distilled water and the straight Pentafrost. But if you have the other type of hose clamp that's a spring clamp, basically it'll keep constant tension on that hose, and you really shouldn't have a problem in that scenario. So, but if you've got these hose clamps that are tightened like this, I would keep an eye on it. This isn't an isolated incident here, so it's definitely worth passing on. Keep an eye on your hoses here and your coolant. Just to give you a little bit more information about this, what were to happen if I were to just not keep an eye on this level? Eventually it would go down too low, and then the engine temperature would spike up high. Another scenario where what would cause that would be a leak in the system, whether it be the radiator, even a small, very small pinhole leak. It might not even be dripping coolant, but just a small pinhole leak is enough to cause your radiator or your coolant temp to spike up pretty good, and make you wonder what in the heck is going on with your car. So if that's the situation where you got a high temp, just with the engine running, I would pop the hood and just very carefully look in the radiator and other areas. Just take 10 minutes, and after the engine's up temperature running, if it's not at the normal running temperature, just take a look and see if you can see a slight bit of steam coming off the radiator. Very, very slight. It doesn't take much, or it could be rolling off if it's a pretty nasty leak. But even the smallest coolant leak is enough to shoot your temperature up and cause problems. So your system needs to operate under pressure, usually about 15-16 pounds. Unless if you're running a waterless coolant system, for example, Evans coolant is a waterless coolant that can run at a lot hotter temperature. But anyways, I thought I'd share this. Nothing to cause a huge alarm here from what I'm seeing. I just tightened up my hoses, and I'll be keeping an eye on this to see just what the drop rate is on that tank, if any. And I guess that's it. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Hope you like my video.